Hi, fourth grade. It's Mrs. Boswell, and we are starting a new module. And if you notice today, you have 2 pieces of papers to take notes on today. So before you get started taping those in, let's focus on what we're going to write in our table of contents. We're going to write Module 2, Lesson 1, and we're going to say measuring distance, okay? And you're going to use M stands for meters, and cm stands for centimeters, but we're also going to add km for kilometers. Okay. So we're measuring distance today. If you notice, I have 2 page numbers because mine is going to be on page 17 and 18. So you will have 2 pages there. Okay. Remember, pause the video as you need. So we're going to continue. So here's our objective today. I'm going to scroll in just a little bit so you can see it. It says, I can express, model, and solve metric length measurements in terms of small units using addition and subtraction. Okay, so we're going to really be talking about, these are really important words. You're going to be really focusing on this word units, and then length. And then we'll also talk, we've already learned about addition and subtraction and we've reviewed it. You're going to be using that again today with the addition and subtraction algorithms. But our number big word is this word length with the metric system. So I'm going to come over here and it says length is a measure of blank. Well, if you noticed and you kind of saw it when we wrote in our contents page, what is length? It's a measure of what? If you notice, I'll give you some hints. It's a measure of distance. So I'm going to write it's a measure of distance. Distance. Okay. And today you're going to be also learning about the word convert, which means the same word as change. Okay. And then you're also going to be learning about mixed units. Okay. So in this unit, or in this one, we're going to be learning about kilometers, which is km, meters, which is m, and then centimeters. Okay, and we're going to be learning about each of those. And what you notice is I'm not writing out the whole word, I'm using an abbreviation. And mixed units is when you use more than one of these. Okay, so I might have kilometers and meters together, or I might have meters and centimeters together. Okay, and you're just changing them, converting them. So that's some of our language today. So we're going to start here with our words centimeter, meter, and kilometer. Okay, let's think about, I'm going to give you 3 examples, and I want you to think about which of these would I use to measure that distance? Would I use centimeters, which again, and I would put that abbreviation up here as cm. Okay, meters is m, and kilometers is km. Okay, so here are my 3 examples. My first one is, are you ready? McDonald's. Okay, McDonald's. Which one would I use? Kilometers, meters, or centimeters? So I want you to think about this. I want to know what is the distance from Black Bob Elementary to McDonald's. Would I use centimeters, meters, or kilometers? Okay. I want you to think about it. If you said kilometers, you're correct. The distance to McDonald's, I would have to measure in kilometers because it is larger than meters and centimeters. So McDonald's, if I wanted to measure that distance, sorry, that should be no. Okay, so that distance from here to McDonald's, I would measure in kilometers. Can anybody else give me another example? I want you to think about that. So let's do my next example, okay? And it's either going to be in centimeters or meters, so you get to decide, okay? If I wanted to measure this paper clip, see this paper clip here? Would I measure that in meters or centimeters? if you said centimeters, you're correct. I would measure a paper clip with centimeters because it is so small. Centimeters. Paper clip. Okay? So you want to think of centimeters, they're much smaller than meters, and meters is smaller than kilometers. Okay? Because this is like I'm traveling somewhere, I'm going to use kilometers, right? But let's think about my next example. I want to measure the height of a desk or even a table in the classroom. I want to measure the height of that. Would I use a centimeter, which I can find on a ruler? Would I use a meter stick to measure with meters? Or would I use kilometers to measure the height of a desk? If you said meters, you are correct. The height of a desk would be measured in meters. So I'm going to say desk. I'm going to say desk. Desk height. I would measure a desk height using a meter. But what if I wanted to measure it just across the desk or across the table? I could still use a meter. Okay? Now, let's do these next three examples. If I wanted to find the height of a basketball net, would I use kilometers, meters, or centimeters? If you said meters, you're correct. If I want to know the height of something, I'm going to use my meter. Okay, so I'm going to say basketball net. That would be another example. Okay, I'm going to bullet those of measuring with meters. Okay, the basketball net height. Okay. What if I wanted to go from here, from Blackbird Elementary, to Frontier Middle School? Would I measure that in centimeters or kilometers or meters? I'm going to tell you, if you said meters, it's going to take you quite a few of those to get there. The easiest way would be to use kilometers. Okay, so to go to Frontier Middle School, I would want to use kilometers to measure that distance. Okay, all right, my last example, I think this one's going to be easy, is a marker. How would I measure this marker? If you said in centimeters, you are correct. I would want to use centimeters. Okay, so here's what I want you to know. Kilometers is larger than meters. Meters is larger than centimeters. Okay, now we are going to help learn how many meters are in a kilometer. Okay, because we can break this down. And this is called converting. Okay, we are converting or changing kilometers into meters. Okay, for every 1 kilometer, it is 1,000 meters. Okay, so what did I add? I just added how many zeros? I added 3 zeros. Okay, now if I went this way from meters, if I had 1,000 meters and I wanted to go to kilometers, what would I take away? I would take away the 3 zeros. Okay, so 1,000 meters is the same as 1 kilometer. Well, that's pretty easy. Let's go down here. If I have 2 kilometers, if I'm going 2 kilometers in distance, how many meters would that be? Well, I'm going to take that 2, and then I'm going to add how many zeros behind it? 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, how many meters is in 2 kilometers? 2,000 meters. Okay, and you could even end those in M for that abbreviation if you wanted. Okay, what if I now had 3 kilometers? How many meters would that be? Well, again, I'm going to write that 3. Okay, and I'm converting it to meters. I'm taking that kilometers because it's bigger, and I'm going to convert it to meters. All right, and how many is that? I'm going to add 3 zeros behind it. Oh, that would be 3,000 meters, right? All right, let's have this 7. I have a 7. I'm going 7 kilometers. I'm going to convert it to meters. I'm going to add 3 zeros behind it. 1, 2, 3, wee. Okay, how many meters? 7,000. Oh man, now this is 70 kilometers. I wonder, what does 70 kilometers convert to in meters? Well, remember, I'm just going to write the number 70, and then I'm going to add how many zeros behind it? Just 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, whee! Oh, 70 kilometers becomes 70,000 meters. Okay, let's do 80. Well, I'm going to write that 80. I'm going to go from 80 kilometers and convert it to meters. I'm going to write that 80, and then I'm going to add 3 zeros behind it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whee! Oh, 80 kilometers becomes 80,000 meters. Okay. Now, you're going to do more conversions down here, converting down here. But before we do that, now we want to look at, this was converting kilometers to meters. Now, we're going to go from meters to centimeters because I know that centimeters is smaller than meters. Okay? So, if I had 1 meter, what would that convert to in centimeters? Okay? Well, over here, interesting enough, how many zeros did I add behind? How many zeros did I add behind? I added 3. How many did I take away if I had to go to kilometers? I would take away 3. Well, over here, it's actually adding 2 zeros or taking away 2 zeros. Okay? So if I'm going from 1 meter to centimeters, I'm going to write that 1, and I'm going to add how many zeros behind it? 2. So 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Okay? If I had 2 meters, okay, I'm going to write that 2 and add 2 zeros behind it. So 2 meters becomes how many centimeters? 200 centimeters. All right? 4 meters becomes 400 centimeters. Okay? 6 meters becomes 600 centimeters. Because how many zeros am I adding behind? 2. Okay? Oh man, now I have 60. So I'm going to write that number 60. And how many zeros am I adding behind it? Just 2. 1, 2. Now here comes that tricky. Let's count it and see how many zeros. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whee! Ah! So 60 meters becomes 6,000 centimeters. Because how many zeros did I add behind it? Just 2. Every time I'm adding 2. Over here it was adding 3. Right? So now, if I have 10 meters, and I add 2 zeros behind it, 1, 2, and I go 1, 2, 3, whee! 10 meters becomes 1,000 centimeters. Okay? Now let's go, and we're going to keep converting or changing. Okay, so we're going to look up here now. Down here, it can go either way. It can go from meters to centimeters, or it might go from centimeters to meters, or it might go from kilometers to meters, or meters to kilometers. So we really kind of have to watch what direction it's going. Okay? Because remember, kilometers is bigger than meters, meters is bigger than centimeters. Okay? Centimeters is smaller than meters, and meters is smaller than kilometers. Okay? So I'm going from 1 kilometer to the meter. So I'm going from a bigger number to the smaller unit. Okay? So I know when I go from a kilometer to a meter, I add how many zeros? 3. So I'm going to take that 1, I'm going to add 3 zeros behind it. Oh, 1 kilometers is how many meters? 1,000 meters. Okay. Now this one is meters to centimeters. Okay, so I'm going from meters to centimeters. Well, how many centimeters are in 3 meters? Well, if I go from meters to centimeters, I'm adding 2 zeros. So I'm going to take that 3 and add 2 zeros. 1, 2. Oh, 3 meters is 300 centimeters. I'm going to kind of draw that arrow. It kind of helps you. Okay. Now, I'm going to go from kilometers to meters. Nope. Kilometers to meters. Okay, so I'm going in this direction, right? So if I go from kilometers, 7 kilometers, so I'm going to write 7 over here. How many zeros do I add? 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whee! 7 kilometers becomes 7,000 meters. Okay? All right, so let's go down here. Oh man, they switched it up. I'm going to go from 2,000 meters. So I'm going to start with a smaller unit, and I'm going to go to the bigger unit. I know when I go from the smaller unit to the bigger unit, what did we say? We're going to take away zeros. Okay, so I'm going to take away how many zeros? 1, 2, 3. Oh, 2,000 meters becomes how many kilometers? Just 2. Okay, because I'm working backwards this time. I'm going from kilometers back to meters. Oh man, they did it again. Look, I've got 40,000 meters, and I'm going back to kilometers, right? So I'm going from meters back to kilometers. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take away how many zeros? 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, what's my number left? 40. Oh, there went my lights. There we go. Got them back on. All right. So now, ooh, look. Now this is centimeters to meters. Oh, so I'm going from that smaller unit, whoops, to that bigger unit. Smaller unit to bigger unit. How many am I going to take away this time? Just 2 zeros. 1, 2. How many meters are in 600 centimeters? Just 6. Okay. All right. Oh, man. Now look at this one. I have 81 meters, and I'm going to go to centimeters. Okay, so let's do. I'm going to go to meters to centimeters. Okay, meters to centimeters. Okay. I'm going to add 2 zeros, right? If I'm going from centimeters to meters, I'm taking away 2 zeros. So look, I'm going meters to centimeters, meters to centimeters. I'm going to add those double zeros. So I'm going to write my number and add 2 zeros. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Whee! Oh, 81 meters becomes 8,100 centimeters. Oh, look, they already switching on me again. I'm going to go from centimeters to meters. So if I go from centimeters to meters, I'm going to take away 2 zeros. So I'm going to go 1, 2. 800 centimeters becomes 8 meters. Okay. Same thing over here. Now I'm going to go from meters to kilometers. So I have 100,000 meters to kilometers. So I'm going to go from meters, so I'm going to smaller, to the bigger. I'm going to subtract 3. If I go from the bigger to the smaller, I would add 3. Okay. So I'm going to take away 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, how many kilometers is that? 100 kilometers. So 100,000 meters becomes 100 kilometers. So we have been converting, but we're going to switch it over, and we're now going to look at mixed units. Okay. So we're going to switch it over to this side. Okay, and it says, convert the following into smaller or larger units. Well, if you notice, I have kilometers and meters. Oh, goodness. Now I have a mixed unit. Okay, I have kilometers and meters. And I'm going to make it either into the larger one or into the smaller. So we're going to convert this one. Okay, what would it be easier to convert to? If we're looking at it, see kilometers and meters. Well, I know that meters, there are meters within kilometers, right? How many meters are in this kilometer? I'm going to add how many? 1, 2, 3, right? So that 1 kilometer becomes 1,000 meters, and then 500 meters, okay, right? So I have 1,000, so that kilometers became 1,000 meters, and then I still have the 500 meters, so what does that equal? Well, 1,000 plus 500, I'm adding those two together, right? 1,000 plus 500 is 1,500 meters. So I can convert these kilometers into meters and express it into smaller units. Okay? So the same thing I can do down here. Look, I'm going from kilometers to meters. Well, I know 2 kilometers. I'm just going to add 2 zeros behind it. So this 2 kilometers, okay, it becomes a 2 with 3 zeros behind it, meters, right? Plus I still have the 800 meters, becomes what? 2,800 meters. Good job. Oh man, this one had it in meters. and it's not in a mixed unit. Can I make it into a mixed unit? Absolutely. Okay, so let's look at it. I know that meters is the smallest, but I see that I have 5,000, right? And I have that 1, 2, 3 spots for that 0, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I got 5. So how many kilometers would this be? If I mark up 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How many kilometers is that? It would be 5 kilometers. Okay, what would be the leftover meter? I know it looks like I crossed it off, but I really didn't cross it off. It's still there. That 5 is still there because I'm just representing that as my zeros. But I still have 5 meters left. So how many meters do I have left? I have 5. So 5,005 meters can convert to 5 kilometers and 5 meters. Okay? So let's see if we can convert this 2,500 meters into kilometers. Okay? Well, I know that when I go backwards, I'm going to take away 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. What's that number? Oh, 2 kilometers. Then how many meters? Well, what's my number? Ooh, the 5. But where's the 5 this time? It's in the hundreds place value. So I still have 500 meters left over. Why was this one just a 5? Because it was in the ones place value. What if it would have been in the tens? It would have been 50. Okay, that's why it's only 5 here, because it was in the ones. This one is 500 because the 5 was in the hundreds place value. Okay, so that we were converting. Okay, here's our last 2 things we're going to work on today, and we're going to work on simplifying these. Okay, now if you notice, I have 1 kilometer, 734 meters, plus 4 kilometers, 396 meters. Wait a second, did these have a plus in them? No, but did we end up adding a plus later? We did. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to convert these all into the same unit, because I do have similar kilometers, right, and meters, but it's easier to convert them down into meters. Okay, now I can show you both ways. I'm going to show you how to just simplify it. So if I have 1 kilometer, 734 meters, plus 4 kilometers, 396 meters, right? I could add that all. I'm going to go 6 plus 4 is 10, carry that 1. 9 plus 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, carry that 1. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Where do I carry that 1 to? I'm going to carry it over here because it's 1,000, right? So now I've got 4, 5, 6. Okay, but I need to label it. How many kilometers? 5. 130 what? Meters. So this is simplifying. Simplifying. Thank you. This is simplifying. You could do it that way. Or you can convert it. Okay, so I'm going to take 1 kilometer and 734 meters, and I know 1 kilometer is 1,000 and 734 meters. So this one converts to 1,734 meters. Okay, I'm going to convert this one. I know to make this kilometers. Okay, so I'm sorry. Let me go back here. I already knew that this 1 kilometers is 1,000. Okay, plus I had the 734, kind of like the same pattern we were using up here. Okay, I'm doing down here. So 1,000 plus 734 is 1,734. Now this is 4, so I'm going to do 4 and add 3 zeros behind it. 4,000 plus 396 becomes 4,396 meters. Okay, now I can do standard algorithm and add it, right? So 6 plus 4 is 10, carry that 1, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, carry that 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, carry that 1, 4, 5, 6. Oh, look. Oh, Mrs. Boswell, you are silly. That should have been a 6, and I just caught myself. Sorry about that. That should have been a 6 there. Okay, so now I have 6,130. Now, can I convert that into kilometers and meters? Yeah. So I know if I go to make it kilometers and then meters. Okay, if I'm looking at this number, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, what's left is the 6. And then what's left for meters? 130. And I'm going to write that there, 130. So my answer, did I get the same answer? Even though I broke it down? Okay, I did. I still got 6 kilometers and 130 meters. So this answer is 6 kilometers, 130 meters. You decide, do you want to simplify it or do you want to just do converting and then adding, okay? You decide. What is easier for you? Okay, now let's go over here. Okay, I'm so sorry that keeps happening. Now I am going to be doing subtracting, and I'm going to simplify. I'm going to start with simplify. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 meter 47 centimeters minus 98 centimeters. So am I still lining this up like standard algorithm? Absolutely. If you kind of notice, it still is. But I just have my words in there. Okay, so can I do 7 minus 8? No, I don't have to borrow from this 4. It becomes a 3. This becomes 7. 17 minus 8 is 9. Now can I do 3 minus 9? No, but who do I borrow from? This M? No, sillies. But I am going to borrow from the meters, and that is going to become a 0, right? Because I borrowed 1. And this 3 becomes 13. 13 minus 9? 9. 10, 11, 12, 13 is 4. Okay, so how many centimeters is left? Do I have any meters? Nope, I only have 49 centimeters. Okay, now I think I'm right here. Okay, but that was simplifying. I could convert it. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to converting. I know that 1 meter to a centimeters, I'm going to add 2 zeros. So that 1, and I add 2 zeros is 100. Well, I know 100 plus 47 becomes 147 centimeters. Minus, I don't have to convert this one because it only has centimeters, 98 centimeters. Oh, look. Do you see the similarity? So you have to decide what's easiest for you. So again, we're going to do our standard subtraction algorithm. I can't do 7 minus 8. I have to borrow from the 4, make that a 3. The 7 becomes 17. 17 minus 8 is 9. Okay. I can't do 3 minus 9, so I have to borrow that. So that becomes 0. And the 13. 13 minus 9 is 4. And I have 49 what? 49 centimeters. Why don't I have any meters? Well, there's nothing in this value over here, right? I don't have a hundreds place value. So my answer is 49 centimeters. Great job, 4th grade, modeling how to solve metric length measurement and using addition and subtraction algorithms to find those smaller units. We did a lot of converting our mixed units. I'm wishing you luck. Take your time.